We will begin our commencement ceremony by listening to the Star-Spangled Banner as sung by Carly Wingfield, who was awarded her Master of Music degree with an emphasis in vocal performance earlier today.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. At Missouri State University, we are very proud of our many outstanding programs. One such program is our Jazz Studies program in the music department, where many talented and dedicated students study and train. It is our pleasure to have the Missouri State Jazz Ensemble, conducted by Randy Ham, with us today. I invite you to enjoy the sounds of the Jazz Ensemble as they entertain us with Blue Five Jive by Benny Carter. Thank you, Randy, and welcome to Commencement. Missouri State University observes 2 commencement periods during the year. The spring commencement is held in mid-May, and the fall commencement occurs at the end of the semester in December. This is one of 3 such programs today. Because of the large number of graduates, we are conferring graduate and bachelor's degrees in the College of Business, the William H. Darr College of Agriculture, and interdisciplinary academic program majors at this ceremony. We conferred the graduate and bachelor degrees to the students in the other colleges earlier today. Over the course of the 3 ceremonies, we will award degrees to 2,941 students. Of that total, 2,285 will receive undergraduate degrees and 656 will receive graduate degrees. It is our biggest commencement ever. We will graduate over 5,600 people this year. The Missouri State University faculty and staff are proud to recognize members of this graduating class who have distinguished themselves by their academic achievement and leadership and who have earned academic or performance scholarships. Funding for many of these scholarships is made possible by alumni and friends of the university, and we thank them for their support and generosity. Several governors of the university are on the platform today with me. Members of the Board of Governors are appointed by the Governor of the State of Missouri and confirmed by the State Senate. They serve 6-year terms and carry the responsibilities set forth in statute as the policy-making board for the institution. We also have a student representative to the Board of Governors who serves a 2-year term. We are grateful to the governors for the time they take from their schedules and give to the university, and pleased that several can be with us today to take part in commencement. I will now introduce the platform party. They will stand as their names are called, and I would ask that you hold your applause until all are introduced. In the second row, Neosha Mackey, Emeritus Dean of Library Services, who will be reading names of graduates. Carrie Turgeon, the Mayor of Jefferson City, a businesswoman and member of the Board of Governors. William Miller, a student from Sullivan and student member of the Board of Governors, who will be graduating in this ceremony today. Macy Hankel, a graduating senior from Rogersville, Missouri, and senior class president, who graduated earlier today. Dr. Saibal Mitra, chair of the Faculty Senate. Dr. Pauline Nugent, professor of modern and classical languages, who will also be reading names of graduates. In the front row, Craig Frazier, businessman from Springfield and member of the Board of Governors. Dr. Frank Einhelig, University Provost. Dr. Stephanie Bryant, our commencement speaker. Brent Dunn, Vice President for University Advancement. And Beverly Miller Keltner, an educator from Lebanon and member of the Board of Governors. Please help me recognize the platform party. Our faculty and administrators have led in the educational process for our graduates. Many of these people are present today and seated at both my right and left, and I request that they stand and that you also recognize them with your applause for their contributions. It is now my great pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker, Dr. Stephanie Bryant. As Executive Vice President and Chief Accreditation Officer for AACSB, Dr. Bryant is part of AACSB's executive leadership team and provides vision, leadership, and oversight of accreditation-related services for 836 of the best business schools in the world. Additionally, she coordinates some 500-plus volunteers from business schools and business who play an essential role in helping schools achieve their mission through accreditation. As an established scholar and thought leader, Dr. Bryant acts as spokesperson around the world and advocate for the advancement of quality business and accounting education and engages business stakeholders to help schools prepare future leaders with the right skills and mindset to lead in a changing, diverse, and global world. Before joining AACSB in 2017, Dr. Bryant served as Dean of the College of Business right here at Missouri State University. During her tenure, enrollment grew by almost 1,000 students, making our business school the largest college of business at any public university in the central Midwest. Also under her leadership, Glass Hall was renovated and the Robert Gorley Student Success Center was built. With over two decades of experience as a professor and in college administration, she is a highly respected researcher and scholar. Her area of academic specialty is accounting, information technology, security, and control, and she has co-authored 2 textbooks and more than 30 academic articles. Dr. Bryant received her PhD and BS in accounting from Louisiana State University and is a Louisiana CPA. She was named to the inaugural class of Biz 417 Women Who Mean Business, and twice named to Biz 417's Top 100 Most Powerful and Influential Business Leaders in Southwest Missouri. She was also named one of Springfield's most influential women while here. Dr. Bryant is an active supporter of the university and considers it her real college home. She's a fan of all Bear sports, but has a special place in her heart for the Lady Bears. She subscribes to the motto, once a Bear, always a Bear. Please join me in welcoming home one of our Bears, Dr. Stephanie Bryant.
Greetings, President Smart, Provost Einhellig, members of the Board of Governors, faculty and administration, friends and families, and of course, you, our graduates. To you, I say a special welcome. Hey, Bears! I love that. I cannot begin to express how thrilled I am to be back home in Springfield at the university that I consider my home. Brent Dunn, our Vice President of Advancement, once said about me that while I didn't graduate from Missouri State University, you would never know it. I take that as a great compliment because it's true. I will always be a Bear. My years as Dean of the College of Business at Missouri State are a cherished memory, and I am so honored to share this special day with you today. Many commencement speakers will give you a top 10 list of things to remember. But you know what? I remember being you. You're excited, and you aren't going to remember a whole lot about today, much less 10 things I ask you to remember. So I'm going to ask you to remember one thing, just one, and it's this word, ripples. I'm talking about the type of ripples that we create when we interact with others. And I'd like to take a few minutes of your time to share with you the story of how I discovered the importance of making those ripples count. So to set up the story and help you remember it, I want to start by asking you to please do something for me. So I want you to, listen, graduates, I want you to close your eyes. So do that now. Close your eyes. I see you looking at your cell phone. Don't look at your cell phone. All right, now, visualize in your mind a pond, and it's a beautiful pond. Everybody see the pond? Now imagine that you pick up a rock and you toss it across the pond. What's going to happen? You're going to see ripples. Okay, open your eyes, but I want you to keep that image of the ripples in your mind. And here is why. Many years ago, I visited my grandmother, who I called Nan, who was in a nursing home in Louisiana. However, I happened to stop by during lunch, and so I was asked to wait in the living room until she finished her lunch. So I went in the living room, and I looked around. There was nobody there. There wasn't a soul in the room. Some people say that the sense of smell is our strongest of all the senses, and to this day, I remember how that living room smelled musty from the old furniture that was in there. and I saw a piano in the corner. I'm a person who never passes up a piano. So I went over to the piano, and there was a hymn book on top of the piano. And it was old too, like everything was old. It was old too. It was so old that it was the type of hymn book that had shape notes. So if you know anything about music, that's like 100 years old, so really old. But I was a church pianist for many years, and so I sat down and I began to play hymns in this empty room just to pass the time. So I was waiting for my Nan to finish her lunch. I played Amazing Grace, and I played In the Garden, and I played Leaning on the Everlasting Arms, and all these other hymns that I had grown up singing and playing in church. After a few minutes, an aide came in, and he approached me, and he leaned over, and he said, "Can you play Near the Cross?" And I said, "Sure, I can play that," thinking maybe he just likes hymns. And then he leaned in, and he whispered to me, and he said, "There's an elderly man down the hall who is listening to you play. He's bedridden, and he asked me to ask you if you would please play Near the Cross for him." That blew me away. I had no idea that anyone could hear me playing, but somebody did hear, and it meant something to that person. It was quite a lesson for me. So I turned to the song in the hymn book, and I played all 4 verses of Near the Cross for the elderly man down the hall who I never met. I like to think that it comforted him, and that maybe it wasn't an accident that Nan was at lunch when I showed up that day to visit her. Though I never met that man, he taught me one of the most important lessons of my life, for it was at that moment that I realized that there's a ripple effect to all of our interactions with others, whether those actions are intentional or not. And I realized then that even if I didn't know it, people would notice what I did and what I said and how I acted. And if I made a careless joke, or I wasn't careful with my language, or was cheap with my words, people would notice, and it would create a ripple. I have never forgotten that lesson, and that is a lesson that I hope you will remember. Because remember, just asking you to remember one. So that's the lesson. People notice what you say and what you do, and it will create a ripple. So now go back to the image in your head. Remember that? The rock that you tossed across the pond and the ripples that the rock created. Do you see it? You are the rock. You are that rock. Those ripples you see are the results of your words and your deeds. As you go forward in your post-collegiate life, remember this. Through your everyday actions, your behaviors, and your words, you are going to create a vast pool of ripples. You get to choose the kinds of ripples you will create. It's a conscious choice. I encourage you, I implore you, choose to create positive ripples in all that you say or do. Choose to make the world better because you were here. Congratulations, graduates. Your Missouri State family is so proud of you, and we can't wait to see the positive ripples that we know you are going to create with your lives. And lastly, I never get tired of saying it. Go Bears! Thank you.
The Army Reserve Officers Training Corps has been a cooperative partner in Missouri State University's educational program since 1952. Earlier today, 6 students were commissioned as second lieutenants in the United States Army at a ceremony held at Placer Student Union. The veterans and military members living, working, and receiving their education at the university are a valued and vital component of our campus community. We recognize and honor their sacrifices and the sacrifices of their families and value their life experiences as they broaden the diversity of our faculty, staff, and student body. As such, students graduating from Missouri State University who serve, have served, or will be serving after graduation in the United States Armed Forces have been invited to wear a red, white, and blue honor cord at today's ceremony in recognition of their service to our country. I now invite those individuals to stand and be recognized. Thank you. Missouri State University has another long-standing tradition. We have many academic relationships with educational institutions in China. One such example is the Liaoning Normal University and Missouri State University College of International Business located in Dalian, China. Under this program, after earning an AA degree in Dalian, students are eligible to transfer to the Springfield campus of MSU, where a majority work toward their bachelor's degree in our College of Business. Many of these students continue at MSU in pursuit of a master's degree. We are pleased to host a delegation from the LNU MSU College of International Business with us today. Please help me welcome Dean Yamei Liu, her party, and all of our international students to this ceremony and to campus. At this time, candidates for all degrees will be presented by Dr. Frank Einhelig, University Provost. It is understood, of course, that no candidate graduates officially until all grades are recorded and a final examination of the student's record is made.
Will the candidates for all master's degrees please rise? President Smart, these candidates have completed all of the requirements for their respective master's degree. The graduate faculty of Missouri State University are pleased to present them to you for the conferring of the degree.
By the authority of the state of Missouri vested in the Board of Governors and delegated to me, I now confer upon you the master's degree. I testify that you have surmounted the first level of graduate studies and wish you every success as you serve humanity by your accomplishments.
Will all candidates, except those in the first row, please be seated? Will the candidates for master's degree in the first row proceed forward, followed by master's candidates in other rows, as directed by the marshals?
Dr. Sean Wall, Dean of the College of Arts and Letters, and Dr. Thomas Tomasi, Professor of Biology, will hood the candidates. Dr. Pauline Nugent and Ms. Neosha Mackey will present the students.
Lane Allison Nichols.
Patricia Lynn Haddock.
Logan Lopica.
Daphne Michelle Miney.
Bethany Orr Schenk.
Kathleen Rose McCaffrey.
Harshnit Singh.
Nash Levi Fritchie.
Elena Mignon Irvin.
Thomas Andrew Jurisic.
Hashna Hitindra Shah.
Shane Allen Smith.
Sydney Hunter Skiles.
Eric P. Mertens.
Paige N. Schaffer.
Austin R. Moore.
Wang Bowen.
Alex M. Benson.
Shumin Yang.
Uvis Kalninch.
Xin Yue Chin.
Tinsley Dean Faye McGinnis.
Nodi John.
Kenneth Ocholi Onakutu.
Wajina Gail White.
Julie Nicole Kofarnas.
Ellen Hannah Riley.
Hannah M. Anderson.
Paula Colette Welter.
Jessica L. Isaac.
Christopher Robert Groh.
Sarah Marie Dimmer.
James Orr Krieger.
Ivy Elizabeth Reynolds.
Colin David Chalk.
Wesley David Peterson.
Amanda K. Weberg.
Cheyenne S. Hatfield.
Amy M. Kepler.
Lucas Allen Pankratz.
Kelly Diane Wheeler.
Zachary Stevens Herbert.
Lauren Taylor Trace.
Jonah Robert Barnes.
Joel Ellis Yates.
Brandon W. Benna.
Ye Zhang.
Joseph M. Murphy.
Shi Li Liu.
Lamarcus Devon Stewart.
Brandon Ray Holman. Schaefer.
Bradley R. Pryor.
Jenna Lee Ward.
Lacey G. Baker.
Arden Dalai and Taiwan.
Rebecca Abradan.
Kathleen Orr Brown.
Jasmine Claros.
Andrew Gunnar Anderson.
Madison Page Jones.
Kirsten D. Geis.
Elizabeth Muriel Gangle.
Lauren Kelly Liam.
Rihanna Nicole Mouse.
Brody Allen Olson.
Wang Yu.
Court N. Farron. Bharat Malhotra.
Zhao Jingyi.
Kelly A. Hamley.
Dong Hao Wei.
Anna Carolina Folk.
Liu Jia Tong.
Brandy Lee Dinwiddie. Connor Evan Lathan.
Zhang Hongjin.
Dakota Billy Comer.
Darius J. Young.
Bridget Miranda Kirkhog.
Francisco Javier Hernandez.
Roy Edward Hardy Jr.
Jacob David Kovarik.
Rafael Vite Fuentes.
John R. Fuchs.
Jian Fang.
Nolan Westhoff.
Lally L. Bridges.
Brad A. Carpenter.
Chen Chen.
Liang Wen,
Ming Jue Wong,
Huang Rui,
Mo Gu,
Yang Hai,
Mong Chai Shu,
Zhang Yiming,
Jai Ying Xing,
Rin Shu,
Xiaobo Wang,
Pang Sheng Kun,
Yongxi Lu,
Tang Fei,
Dong Mei Guo,
Tang Jia Yu,
Yi Shu Wang, Zhao Fong Jie,
Lu Jie,
Li Wenfeng,
Hu Qing Shuang,
Xiao Yunji,
Yu Miao,
Shan Song,
Zhao Lingling,
Zhang Zhang,
Mao Xiaoyu,
Yu Lu,
Dong Shu Chen,
Wen Xin Li,
Yin Xiang,
Chen Ji Song,
Tong Han,
Peng Hao,
Fang Yan,
Yu Long Pei,
Xiao Rongfeng,
Zhang Yuan,
Yang Tai Rui,
Jiang Li,
Li Jiuming,
Jing Yong Feng,
Lu Yao,
Justin D. Hughie,
Wang He,
Caroline Grace Boone,
Shu Tingting,
Emily Orr Macmillan,
Wang Qing,
Shaker Joshi,
Li Wenqiang,
Justin Tyler Ross,
Zhao Fangfang,
Gabrielle Orr Rappel,
Liu Jie,
Tyler L. Holteman,
Zhang Ling,
Kimberly D. Freeman Neal,
Yao Yuan,
Robin Lynn Hames,
Zhao Pengzhang,
Jason Emma Lee,
Zhang Yang,
Suzanne R. Moskalski,
Gui Yang,
Akansha Rawat,
Fu Yaoxing,
Basan Shunke,
Zhu Qianni,
郭东升。
Bayarma Kusalbaka.
Guo Dongsheng.
Rishad Rizaya.
Jessica Linan Lowry.
Kien Antran.
Jacqueline Renee Young.
Hin Win.
Cassandra Lee Mao.
Yinshu Jiang.
Hazem Youssef Book.
Ejen Guo.
Wang Fan.
Jordan T. Shore.
Dong Xiaomeng.
Courtney Ann Hall.
Jiang Rui Ping.
Sarah E. Bishop.
Li Junyan.
Taylor Ann Young.
Jia Lin Yan.
Benjamin J. Travlis.
Fu Zilin.
Xiaofeng Dai.
Chen Yang.
Tin Ting Yin.
Okay. Wen Jiaxun.
Zai Jianqian.
Feng Xiao.
Hao Chen Ying.
Esther Ann Nelson. Bina Ravi.
My name is Samsung Meng. Samsung Meng.
Shen Sung Meng. Jing Wen Shu.
So we need a placeholder.
I made you a placeholder.
Oh, bless your heart.
No.
Drinks are on you tonight.
Yeah.
Before we confer the bachelor's degrees, I would like to note the scholastic accomplishments of several of these students. Would the students wearing the blue stoles please rise? Please join me in recognizing these graduates of the university's Honors College. You may be seated. Several students are graduating with scholastic honors and are identified by the cordons they are wearing. Students graduating summa cum laude have achieved a grade point average of at least 3.9. Will those students graduating summa cum laude and wearing the gold cordons please rise and remain standing? Students graduating magna cum laude have achieved a grade point average between 3.75 and 3.89. Would those students graduating magna cum laude and wearing the silver cordons please rise and remain standing? Finally, students graduating cum laude have achieved a grade point average between 3.5 and 3.74. Would those students graduating cum laude and wearing a bronze cordon please rise and remain standing? On behalf of the university, I wish to congratulate all of these students on their impressive scholastic achievements. Will the candidates for all Missouri State University bachelor degrees please rise? President Smart, these candidates have completed all of the requirements of their respective bachelor degrees. The faculty of Missouri State University take great pleasure in presenting them to you for the conferring of the degree.
By the authority of the state of Missouri vested in the Board of Governors and delegated to me, I now confer upon you the bachelor degree and wish you all success in your careers.
Will all candidates except those in the first row please be seated? Will the candidates for bachelor's degree in the first row proceed forward, followed by bachelor candidates in other rows as directed by the marshals?
Dr. Pauline Nugent and Neosha Mackey will again present the students.
Lino Perez Salas,
Luke V. Baker,
Jamie M. Woody,
Bryce Gregory Walker, cum laude.
Jason Allen Hardy,
Amir Alazni,
Philip Ray Souden,
Zachary Caleb Melton,
Derek Joseph Ramsey,
Adam Levi Archer,
Danielle Nicole Vissart, magna cum laude,
Andrew J. Herman,
Nathaniel James Poivre,
Mary Kay Doe,
Daniel Quiche, cum laude,
Anna Tracy Clymer, summa cum laude,
Elizabeth Jean Yen,
Ryan G. Farmer, cum laude,
Jacob Edward Meadows,
Desiree M. Ellis,
Brendan Michael Trower,
Emily Marie Wilson,
Taylor M. Detton,
Connie Krista Maria McCoy,
Bradley Michael Botts,
Austin J. Jasper,
Robert Zane Croxton,
Keegan Eric Spears, cum laude,
Curtis W. Shrum,
Tanner William Bunch,
Nathan Andrew Pollock,
Scott Allen Lee,
Brady L. Deckard,
Christian K. Long, cum laude,
Colin Alexander Besseman,
Connor Eric Kennedy,
Ashley Danielle Gregg, cum laude,
Nicholas Harrison Turner, cum laude,
Lauren Bethany Embry, cum laude,
Brendan Thomas Weiss,
Luke E. Dorrell,
Ryan Patrick Hickman,
Micah Dakota Danahill,
Aaron Thomas Gray,
Kirsten L. Schuler,
Wyatt Douglas Feldhacker,
Bianca Graciela Branduza,
Benjamin Riley Brimmer,
Emily May Francis,
Luke A. Tekes, magna cum laude,
Jennifer M. Hickey,
Rebecca Claire Rosebrew,
Nicole M. Visocki,
Jordan T. Ford, summa cum laude in the Honors College with distinction in construction management,
Evan Daniels Dickman, magna cum laude,
Tyler Jackson Bryan,
Carson Reese Altizer, cum laude,
Christian F. Key,
Freeman Joseph Leitner,
Tatiana Elise Alexander,
James Tyler Hicks,
William Schrader,
Kyle R. Bush,
Andrew Ray Spencer,
Eugene Paul Van Ingers, Brandon M. Reichert,
Jack P. Thompson,
Gabriel John Akalagu,
Joshua Kelly,
Caleb Joseph Kazire,
Garrett J. Flesh,
Cameron J. Schaefer,
Cadron Eugene Black,
Andrew J. Greaser,
Tony D. Gunn Jr.,
Andrew Bradford Hoover,
Thomas E. Benson,
David Joseph Bierman,
Allison Claire Sadler cum laude,
Daniel Lewis Mohan,
Emily Ruth Harrison cum laude,
Brendan James Heinsler,
Michael Douglas Howard,
Lucas Daniel Coldwell,
Connor Medler,
Trey Andrew Hartman,
Colt M. Pruente,
Daniel T. Hornsey,
James A. Jorgensen,
Mason Cox,
Sydney Rose Richards,
Courtney P. Lockmiller,
Caitlin N. Ruther,
Derek Andre Durham Jr.,
Jacob A. Ross,
William Lee Miller, magna cum laude,
Catherine Swiger,
Wyatt Arnold Haywood,
Keely Shea Temple,
Brandon S. Bradshaw,
Kelsey Brene Temple,
Alexander Lee Dotson,
Hu Hui Twin,
Alex Michael Mang,
Jiang Yuning cum laude,
E. Ling Yao, summa cum laude,
Liu Xuan Ming,
Brennan Jacob Anderson,
Brittany L. Purdy, summa cum laude in the Honors College,
Sasha Mitchell Perron, Erin Christine Kiley,
Ann Bing Shui,
Rebecca Lynn Cantor,
Morgan Elena Davis Williams cum laude,
Melanie Dawn Parker, magna cum laude,
Hannah J. Ossola,
Alexandria Elizabeth Yonisas, Anthony Lee Nam,
Brandy N. Algier,
Kelsey Lauren Ball, cum laude,
Katie Ann Larimore,
Hope Elizabeth Burnett,
Kathleen Patrice McGinty cum laude in the Honors College,
Lacey Dawn Bennett, cum laude,
Mary Catherine Murphy,
Kendra Smith Jackson,
okay,
Shelby Ann Harvey,
Victor M. Pagan Cruz,
Kaylee Melissa Jackson,
Sophia Serrano,
Sierra Nicole Snowden, summa cum laude,
Yang Chang,
Kylie Logan Weems,
Zhao Zijing, summa cum laude,
Calvin Lee Lagrone Jr.,
Zhang Yuan Chang,
Brittany Elaine Atkinson,
Liu Ge Chin,
Trachelia D. Dillard,
Yen Changzi Yi,
Alexa Marie Smith,
Zachary S. Gillis,
Elise Danielle McLennan,
William Rotondo.
Louis William Rotondo,
Derisha K. Russell,
Lindsay Rose O'Neill,
Andrea Lee Klusman,
Amanda Lee Schmidt,
Shelby Taylor Shea,
Kara Lee Call,
Kelly Ann Adams, magna cum laude.
Muhammad Hamad Al-Shamari,
Anna Christina Trenkamp, magna cum laude.
Atala Ahmad Al-Shamari,
William Joseph Stepik,
Fawaz Ahmad Al-Shamari,
Brandon T. Nguyen, magna cum laude.
Wang Jingyi,
Rachel Lynn Becker,
Jie Xiang,
Madeline Kate Osfeth, Amanda Sue Luchtmeyer,
Li Chang,
Elizabeth Reeves, Logan Leigh Nichols,
Sheng Meng Yuen,
Lindsay M. Grimaud, cum laude.
Zhou Jia Yu,
Jessica Michelle Devine,
Wang Xinyue,
Maciel Gray,
Gao Hongqian,
Megan Sue Horoshevsky,
Ni Junzi,
Sean D. Horgan, Tristan Chase Davis,
Hao Yang,
Danielle J. Matthews,
He Baizhen cum laude,
Madison S. Wumbles,
Gu Ke Shin,
Elizabeth Ann Marks,
Janelle May Pleshka,
Cameron Ayub Chowdhury, summa cum laude.
Svud Sadin Sodnam, magna cum laude,
Mohammed Omar Mohammed Arafat,
Dalit Sarin Narmandak,
Faisal Salman Alafako,
Morgan Leanne Greenlee,
Ibrahim Youssef Bouk, cum laude.
Darian B. Frost,
Omar Abdul Karim Madkali,
Ashley Uphoven,
Mohammed Razi Shabidi,
Danielle Magdalene Gitson, cum laude,
James Hall,
Ryan Joseph Kreklow,
Cameron Jamal Price.
Faisal Abdullah Al Howaita,
Cameron Jamal Price,
Tamim Abdul Rahman Al Garawi,
Alexis Kramer,
Faisal Khalid Al Jahani,
be quiet,
Fayed
Bria
Faraj Al Subay,
Dominique Hodgkin,
Yazid Al Yahya,
Tatiana L. Richardson,
Abdul Aziz Mohammed bin Fayan, cum laude.
Chelsea Renee Sharp,
Ashley Nicole Sparks, Colin Alexander Gillette, magna cum laude.
Deanna Ashley Stevenson,
Crystal Orr Equat,
Tiania Anise Handsome,
Megan Rochelle Smith.
Michaela Neoma Callison Shaw.
Abraham Eric Sadowski.
Anna M. Brown.
Justin Thomas Rapp.
Wei Xuan Ning.
Rachel Ann Johnson.
Chen Miao.
Ashley Nicole Childers, summa cum laude.
Shu Tong.
Pauline Victoria West, cum laude.
Wang Mei Tong.
Alexia Nicole Wallard.
Zhang Jia Chi.
Claire Elizabeth Bresnahan, magna cum laude.
Yue Xiao Han.
Brendan Michael Withrow. Preston Edward Parks, cum laude.
Sun Ming Mei.
Kayla Marie Shriver.
Chiu Yang Yi.
Braden Shea Kuhn.
Loretta P. Stelnicki, magna cum laude.
Kayla Marie Nicole Hosier, cum laude. Chavez Dale Gentry.
Casper Camille Chwick, summa cum laude.
Nathaniel Winters.
Tyler M. Coker, cum laude.
Emily N. Schrader.
Tana Noah Davis.
Brandon June Suk Lee.
Chandler T. Mishi, cum laude.
Kimberly L. Hallenbeck.
Preston R. Paget III.
Maria Nahid Chima.
Chad Michael Nardi.
Lydia Joe Dalton.
Jesse S. Sala.
Emily Elizabeth McCall.
Marielle Elizabeth Schneiders.
Austin James Minix.
Keziah D. Wesley.
Austin Philip Schubert.
Sadie Caitlin Augustine, cum laude.
Nolan Brock Johnson.
Haley Brianne Ebersole, cum laude.
Harrison Daniel Hostick.
Devin Kyle Timothy Gibson.
Braden P. Cleary.
Dominique A. Dabney.
Ian Jared James.
Jordan K. Fortel.
Kevin A. Grant, cum laude.
Taylor Elizabeth Bratton.
Luke Palmer Pitcock.
Erica Nicole Watts.
Andrew Lucian Bisiadecki.
Jennifer L. Schmitz.
Andrew Rudolph Kramer Jr., magna cum laude.
Emily A. Niffen.
Brendan Daniel Leeser, cum laude.
Brian E. Schiller.
Nicholas James Matea, cum laude.
Lavinia Lorraine Sullivan, cum laude.
Patrick Clocken Kemper.
Andrew S. Venturella.
Riley Thomas Olmsted.
Leslie A. Kane.
Zachary R. Austin Reeder.
Jonathan Eugene Wilson.
Jackson Alexander Giebler.
Bailey Elizabeth Heitschuh.
Ryan S. Ostrake, cum laude.
Heather Victoria Baldwin.
Austin T. Kurth, magna cum laude.
Brian Kenneth Vincent, magna cum laude.
Eric John Guboglo.
Bradley J. Balsters, cum laude.
Vincent Guadagnino.
Haley Alexandra Rote Blevins.
Drake A. Hammock. Dominic A. Kelly, magna cum laude.
Jeremiah James West Jr.
Amber A. Sitkins.
Stephen M. Biondo.
Andrew Stephen Timpey.
Samuel J. Nunnally.
Colton James Chastain.
Matthew P. Jansen.
Connor Harrison Pilkington.
Scott T. Belisle.
Lorenzo Antignano.
Drew Lauren Stevens.
Andrew Joseph Ornelas.
Daniel T. Masters.
Daniel J. Bollinger.
Ryan Christopher Reno.
Duc Trung Huang, cum laude.
Ryan Michael Tennis.
Patrick James Kraus.
Rose Harrivan.
Brendan Jeffrey Shaw.
Jocelyn Lee Haywood.
Nicholas Warmbolt.
Trevor Patrick Munsterman.
Adam Joseph Nert.
Rebecca M. Ruth.
Nicholas J. Brohammer.
Raphael Joseph Morphin.
Addison Avery Ladd.
Joshua D. Rizuta.
Jacob K. Pittman.
Peter J. Beal.
Shannon K. Carney.
Mackenzie K. Sherman, cum laude.
Kendra Francine Graves.
Marissa Nicole Owen, summa cum laude.
Ryan C. Petty. Kevin Charles Kaiser.
Ryan Jerome Pride.
Keith M. Harold.
Alyssa Mary Bean.
Chelsea Marie Morris.
Alexander C. Edmondson.
Amanda G. Sims.
Chris Anthony Nation.
Chloe R. Spencer, magna cum laude in the Honors College.
Samuel James Genowine.
Brandon Alexander Hayes.
Derek Mason McGinnis, cum laude.
Justin Cole.
John Frederick Reich, cum laude.
Kyle Joseph Haller. Ryan A. Staten.
Natsuki Oyama.
Catherine Ann Heidebrink, magna cum laude in the Honors College.
Jong Hyun Lee.
Shelby Rose Whittaker, summa cum laude in the Honors College.
Jacob Dylan Longoria.
Cassidy Victoria Cook, magna cum laude in the Honors College.
Jared Benjamin Colby.
Summer Renee Lawson.
Jack Holman Humes III.
Zachary Joseph Bateman.
Yasser Hassan Bafiel.
Jared E. Danielson, magna cum laude.
Buder Ahmed Al-Shami.
Clayton Zachary Schreibner.
Muhammad Osama Banakar.
Logan R. Glasser.
Adnan Fahad Ajadani.
Jeremy S. Adams.
Sidney S. Combe.
Aaron Edward Elder.
Patrick Carey Dingus.
Mary Elizabeth Plough.
Ian Patrick Mullins.
Madeline Bridget Dowdy.
David Bailey Stufflebeam.
Carly Catherine Trebo, cum laude.
Donald R. Hill,
Ryan A. O'Sullivan,
Drennan James Mollick,
Kelsey Brianne Frost, cum laude. Monica Marie Vaughn, cum laude.
Jordan Lane Monsman,
Dylan Cade Avery Smith,
Samantha Ann Harper,
Ryan Cartledge,
Robert Eric Jones II,
Michaela Beth Turner,
Andrew D. Dittemore,
Callie L. Milieu,
Kyle Anthony Hebert, summa cum laude,
Cale Joseph Berghoff,
Madison Lee Hines,
It's Darian Renee.
Gary D. Ernest, summa cum laude.
Darian Renee Lyon,
Autumn Kelly Bess,
Camelia Quintero,
Natalie C. Mudd,
Anna M. Berry,
Elizabeth A. Newsham, cum laude.
Morgan Taylor Drummond,
Haley Elizabeth Fritz, cum laude.
Victoria Noel Venable,
Caitlin Grace Rayburn,
Bailey Kate Durbin,
Abigail Elizabeth Daly,
Catherine Rose Maloney,
Rachel Christine Kurtz,
Josie Taylor Young, magna cum laude,
Ellen Marie Hunter,
Ryan Elizabeth Pate,
Rowan Elizabeth Page Brennan,
Marilyn Ashley Glorfeld,
Sophia May Brookelman,
Shelby Danielle Baker,
Megan Nicole Setchfield,
Jordan Ray McKenzie,
Brittany Christine Polite,
Parker Ann Owens,
Hunter Montana Stark,
Samantha Nicole Kammerer,
Mackenzie Joy Linsky,
Caitlin Michelle Woodrich,
Melinda Dawn Hendren,
William Douglas Tennell,
Hannah Sue Quetno,
Colin Bradley Johnson, cum laude,
Kayla Marie Round,
Austin Caleb Bears,
Brittany Ashton Nicole Dickerson.
Nicholas M. Crow,
Okay. Yeah. Lauren Renee Weschke,
William Chase Hinkey,
Alexander Charles Grantham,
Richard Alexander Garcia,
Evan J. McKay,
Brianna L. Bellamy,
Zachary John Litzinger,
Bailey Ariel Boyer,
Clayton Christopher Boland,
Mary Kay Lowry,
Mason Seesing, Ethan F. Rumbo,
Keely Shea Richter, magna cum laude,
Conrad T. Kern,
Sabrina Stickney,
Nicholas Anthony Sesti,
Joe Ernst,
Bailey J. Pyle,
John D. Tom,
Matthew M. Hyde,
Rodolfo Albaran Para,
Liu Shang Jing,
Bailey Autumn Seymour,
Shang Jiawen,
Abigail Elizabeth Smith,
Wang Yi Mom,
Chowdhury, yeah. Nafisa K. Chowdhury,
Do Shun Hao,
Chas Lloyd Ferris,
Dong Chung,
Flaw, okay. Easton Ray Flaw,
Jai Shui Yi,
Andrew Chase Minor.
Xiao Shengzi,
Montana James Wilkins.
Yu Shin Tao,
Muhammad Nashwan Jabari.
Xiao Wu,
Jessica R. Pierce.
Zhe Yu Zhao,
Katie Aaron Pritchett.
Yi Shen Luan,
Emily Joanne Locker.
Jia Shi Chu,
Victoria Lynn Mitchell.
It'll be Collier.
keep moving.
Samantha N. Collier.
He Yang Sun, keep moving.
Charles G. St. John.
Jin Ling Shin,
Nicole Renee Almond Joy.
Zhang Rui Chen,
Blake Jonathan Ramsey.
Jordan E. Rock,
Madison Elizabeth Rees.
Alex John Lucart, magna cum laude in the Honors College.
Tyler Adam Bailey.
Whitney Ann Ford, magna cum laude.
Gracie Gann.
Catherine Alexis Miller. Keep moving.
Emily Brooke Godfrey.
Brittany Marie Workman. Keep moving.
Laura Christine Bogaski.
Haley C. Kramer.
Lacey Renee March magna cum laude.
Molly Elizabeth Eaton.
Aria Adair Parker.
Jacob Tyler Roseborough.
Abigail N. Goodman.
Jeffrey Austin Gould, cum laude.
Charles Marvin Flotter.
Daniel George Fuller. Graham Allen Nave. Keep moving.
Joshua D. Doring.
Marissa Jean Hacker.
Joseph S. Gruber, magna cum laude in the Honors College.
Marissa Jean Hacker.
Natalie Grace Kelly.
Jordan Nicole Shively, cum laude.
Shay Medina Dunn.
Grace Morgan Child, summa cum laude.
Receiving.
Shelby Lane Johnson.
Bailey Nicole Sieving.
Melissa D. Rowden, summa cum laude in the Honors College. Keep moving.
Anna Lee Rhodes.
Audrey Kelly.
Margaret Katrine Medina. Move it.
Audrey Kelly Ty.
Rachel Leanne Walden.
Andrew Lee Davis.
Christopher Allen Michael Saltis. William Denver Brell.
Oliver Robert Valentine Foreman.
Shelby S. Lair.
Lorna Virginia Dalton.
Caleb Richard Miller, magna cum laude.
Schaefer Meyer.
Connor H. McClue, magna cum laude.
Kyle S. Schaefermeyer.
Jeffrey G. Williams, magna cum laude.
Zhu Xiaowei.
Chase Robert Ulhorn, cum laude.
Li Jiayuan.
Thomas James Orr, magna cum laude.
Jia Chen.
Vanessa Jaden Shelton.
Jennifer Sue Barker.
Garrett Wade Johnston. Gabriel Mello Alvarenga.
Kayla Morgan Skelton.
Drake Alexander Murdoch.
Wang Xiu Han.
Delaney Page Armstrong.
Wang Yuan Zhu.
Madeline Jean Hansen. Madeline Rose Schnell.
Wen Xiaoyi.
Shannon Marie Cahill.
Liu Ziyuan.
Aaron K. Strauss.
Chow Yu Hong,
Robert J. Graham, Jr.
Guo Yue Shui Ying,
David William Bodenheimer.
Liu Shi Chi,
Jordan Lee Robin.
Zhao Jiu Xiang, cum laude.
Cole E. Miller. Weston Thomas Bame.
Chen Zhi Hao,
Emily Marie Schmitz.
Wang Yan Xiang,
Benjamin Michael Morris.
Killed Moni Al-Materi,
Nicholas Brendan Underwood. Keep moving.
Faisal Mansour Al-Mansouri,
George William Fulton.
Fahad Mashal Al-Shual,
Adam Nelson Schnar.
Abdul Rahman Muhammad Al-Bibi,
Julia A. James.
Yusuf Khalid Al-Mansour,
Carson Lee Forbes.
Abdulaziz
Madison Ann Fry, cum laude.
Abdulaziz Yayan Hamdi,
Jessica K. Peak.
Ahmed Yahya Hamdi,
Timothy Joseph Wilkinson.
Khalid Salman Al-Malki,
Alexandria Hansen.
Guo Zijing,
Jenna Denise Kavanaugh.
thank you. Jenna Denise Kavanaugh, magna cum laude.
Carissa Ann Gooch.
Hannah Marie Welchel, cum laude.
Kristen Baylor Waller.
Cole William Branson,
Christian Alexander Bodine, summa cum laude.
Trevor Philip Crisp,
Aldwin Espera Fleer.
Jason A. Denny,
Evan Lake Singletary.
Benjamin K. Morrison,
Alexander Evan Northcroft.
Seth Allen Meyer,
Lance Darren Parrish.
Dania Hisham Sayamaldahar,
Emily Nicole Wilkinson.
Begin with a soft G.
Patricia Ann Ginn,
William Elliott
Jim.
Collins.
Grant Lowell Wheeler, summa cum laude.
Jack Connor.
Alex Samuel Benefiel,
Megan L. Wilson.
Isaiah Ray Villarreal,
Lily B. Witt.
Dylan M. Cordell,
Erica Helen Marie Cooperman.
Matthew Vincent Applebaum,
Michaela D. Carroll. Move it.
Trevor Austin Ware, summa cum laude in the Honors College with distinction in marketing.
Cara Lee Berry.
Chen Guan Yi,
Benjamin Thomas Thompson Richner, summa cum laude.
Chen Shu Ran,
Perry Nicole Brown.
Zhang Xiao Yu,
Zachary William Jack Kimbrough.
Aaron Michael Hayes,
Stuart James McCollum, cum laude.
Garrett D. Armfield,
Ryan Raymond Marith.
Aditya Rohan Dahl.
Austin Gray Livingston,
Abigail Elise Duncan.
Clay Vincent Odell,
Allison Marie Baumgartner.
Jessica Nicole Hurtado,
Madison Marie Stone.
Brittany Ann Callanan,
Valerie Ann Moore, cum laude.
Lauren Elizabeth Lockwood,
Kayla Grace Gibson.
Broderick P. Andrus,
Mackenzie Nicole Kramer.
Kelly Marie McDonough, magna cum laude,
Rebecca Ann Xiao Jia Sahanic, cum laude.
Kelsey E. Conley,
Hannah Lee Adams.
Robert Luke Moody,
Joseph Roger Masterson.
Joshua Michael Neptune,
Zachary Ryan Sample.
Krista Ann Gilbarton, magna cum laude,
Dane C. Haugen, cum laude in the Honors College.
Lindsay Nicole Rector, summa cum laude,
Stephen Anthony Braun, cum laude.
Kendra Brianne Whitt,
Austin Jonathan Lee Swires.
Clayton Jones.
Lekayla Charlene Stacy,
Clayton Michael Jones.
Monica Lee Gherkin,
Kirk Allen Talkert.
Can you say Zachary Michael, please?
Brady Clark Hagler,
Zachary Michael Ponder.
Samantha Lynn Marie Gieselbeck,
Dalton James Metzler.
Olivia Joy Pointer,
Levi James Dooley.
Macy Wayne Clark,
Joseph Kent Curl.
Desiree LaFontaine,
Zachary James Lotman.
Jerry James Wise,
Maxwell Wheeler Blackmer.
Shelby Alyssa Harmon, summa cum laude,
Jacob Cleveland Bear.
Colton Robert Buckner,
Calvin Douglas Danny Ackerson.
Stacy Renee Billings,
Nicholas A. Morrison.
Tracy Lee Lawson,
Jonathan Martin Tudor.
Abigail Rose Keevan,
Monica Joe Stewart.
Zane David McCurry,
I've had to do that on mine.
Lauren Irene Stewart.
Evan James Barry,
Caitlin Christine Smalley, cum laude.
Cassidy E. Brown,
Mara Jeanette Butler, cum laude.
Carrie Lynn Powson and Bran,
Harley A. Wagoner, magna cum laude.
Corey Wayne Harper and Bran,
Bailey Austin Blackman, cum laude.
Garen Dudley.
Tony Ryan Morgan,
Garen W. Dudley.
Jacob Norville Rapp,
Miranda Leanne Alford.
Martell Maylin Moore,
Haley Nanette Gilbreth.
Olivia Ann Loges cum laude,
Shelby Dawn Miser.
Danielle Marie Haas,
Brittany K. Norris.
Corey Richard Joy,
Okay. Maxie Joy Nickting.
Lindsay Nicole McBride.
Christelle Joyce Nasilia Bachman.
Christelle Joyce Nasilla Volkman, cum laude.
Ian Daniel Lubert.
Jesse J. Maddox, magna cum laude.
Anne Elizabeth Rowe.
Miranda Lee Reynolds, cum laude.
Carlene Negus.
Lydia Gale Glenn Hensley.
Carlene Negus, summa cum laude.
Sydney Michelle Rustamar, cum laude in the Honours College.
Morgan Eileen Luthi, magna cum laude.
Brett Michael Harris.
Hannah Elizabeth Smith, summa cum laude.
Amber Nicole Donaldson.
Emily Elizabeth Garton, cum laude.
Corey Michelle Chance White.
Amanda J. Dalton.
Ian Orr Thompson.
Emily Gail Westfall, cum laude.
Zachary Allen Lee.
Nikki Leanne Buck.
Scott Allen Jones.
Hannah Jo Foster.
Katie Jane Zadnik.
Cheyenne Nicole Bowen.
And it's Tanasia Cheyenne.
Charlotte Mariah Yoakum.
Tanasia Cheyenne Fletcher.
Blake T. Brockhouse.
Kayla D. Adams.
Glenda R. DeShazel.
Candace P. Walden.
Shelby Grace Mata.
Rachel Ann Coney, magna cum laude.
Made. Sarah A. Made.
Kayla Marie Wainwright.
Nathan Michael Rice.
Ryan A. Korsmeyer.
Bonnie.
Samantha Ann Bonney. Miranda Nicole Hofstetter. Danielle Nicole Plank. Kelly Ann Walter. Sydney Cheyenne Crabb. Jessica J. Purr. Anna Lynn Roth. Ashley N. Connor.
Last name's Quast.
Sarah Elizabeth Quast.
Connor Allen Howley.
Connor Allen Howley. Catherine Grace Franken, summa cum laude. Emila Jo Lewis, magna cum laude.
It's Hammondtree.
Danielle Nicole Hammondtree, cum laude.
Page 9 of
Paige Nina Bybee. Gracie Annette Johnson. Ashton M. Light, summa cum laude in the Honors College.
Casa Grande.
Claire Elizabeth Casagrande.
Thank you.
Kristen Elizabeth Wyatt, magna cum laude.
William Carl Stephen III.
William Carl Stephen III. Devin W. Whitty. Anthony Thomas Trent. Tony. Danielle K. Lacio.
Jerica Sherrill.
Jerica Sherrill Henry.
Last name is Mackey. Yes, ma'am.
Andrew Scott Mackey. Katie Morgan Pittman. Last but not least. Sarah Elizabeth Lockhart, cum laude.
Graduates, the university hopes you will continue your affiliation with the university as proud and active alumni. To welcome you to the Alumni Association, I would invite to the podium our Vice President for University Advancement, Brent Dunn.
Well, on behalf of the Missouri State Alumni Association, congratulations and welcome to the club. You now join a group of over 125,000 alums that live in all 50 states and over 90 countries around the world. But please keep us up to date on where you are and what you're doing, because chances are wherever you land, there's going to be alumni there that can help you both personally and professionally. And the Alumni Association provides programs to assist you in life and provide engagement activities. After all, your relationship with Missouri State is a lifelong experience. For 114 years, Missouri State has been educating leaders in business, in the sciences, in health, in agriculture, education, the arts, and so many other areas. There are 7 billion people in the world. 6.7% have college degrees. So it's your turn now to make the world a better place. But listen to this. You're a student at Missouri State for a very short time in your life. You're an alum of Missouri State for the rest of your entire life. Now, go change the world. Congratulations. Now go get them and go Bears.
I want to thank the university's jazz ensemble, Randy Ham, and soloist Carly Wingfield for providing today's music. Carly will now sing our alma mater, and I would ask everyone to stand.
Sing we praises now to our alma mater, all hail maroon and white, Missouri State we pledge devotion. May you live ever in truth and right. May you live ever in truth and right. In truth and right.
The last part of our ceremony today is the recessional, and because it is an integral and significant part of the ceremony, we ask that all our guests be seated and remain in their places until the exit of the Grand Marshal. Congratulations and good evening.